from Montgomery County to order here on December 1st at 6 p.m. If everybody could stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Culp?
Here.
Mr. Posey?
Here.
I'd like to welcome back Mr. Newell. Great to hear your voice.
Thank you.
And we move into reading of casualties. Pleased to announce there are no military casualties. Chief Stegelmeyer, you have first responder casualties.
Yes, I do. Good evening, board. The following is the list of the first responder casualties for the period of November 17th to December 1st, 2020. Police Officer Charlie Cortez, Tulalip, Tribal Police Department, Tribal Police, end of watch November 17th, 2020. Fire Captain Joseph Gallo, Blissfield Township Fire Department, Michigan, end of watch November 17th, 2020. K9 Sajak, La Virginie Police Department, Tennessee, end of watch November 18th, 2020. Fire Captain Joseph Roca, Kansas City Fire Department, Missouri, end of watch November 21st, 2020. K9 Titan, Johnstown Police Department, Pennsylvania, end of watch November 22nd, 2020. Detention Officer Dwight Willis, Greene County Sheriff's Office, Missouri, end of watch November 22nd, 2020. Correctional Officer Glenn F. Martinez, Guam Department of Corrections, Guam, end of watch November 23rd, 2020. Senior Police Officer Ernest Leo Jr., Houston Police Department, Texas, end of watch November 27th, 2020.
Thank you, sir. If everyone could join me in recognizing a moment of silence. Thank you. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Mr. Posey?
Aye.
Before we get into new business, I'd also like to welcome back Mr. Snyder. Been off for feeling a little bit ill. Welcome back, sir. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hess, you have items A and B, resolutions 85 and 86 under new business.
He's trying to chat. He's going to call in, so he asked me to ask the board to bypass him, and he'll try to phone in and get some audio for you.
We will skip him for now. Mr. Mayberry, you have
Just really quickly, his number is on. I think, Ron, you just have to unmute your phone. I don't know that I can force unmute you.
Somebody,
there he is.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Modern technology. All right. Thank you, Mr. President. I have two items. The first is 85-2020, and it's a resolution to appoint the Miami Crossings Economic Development District Board member. As you're all aware, Mr. Hinkleman has taken another opportunity. Is going to be village administrator in Covington, Ohio, and we all wish him the best, but his term is unfilled, so I will be making a recommendation that I be appointed to fill his term effective August. Actually, it's a typo in the resolution, which we'll have to fix, but effective the 11th of December through the rest of his term. Then I also have resolution 86-2020, and that's a resolution to approve and authorize the execution of a annexation agreement by and between Miami Township and the city of Miamisburg. This is for the Deer Valley development on Benner Road. The terms are very similar to what we did on Miamisburg Springboro. with Aberdeen. We will do sharing of revenue from the collection of the city taxes for 15 years. Once 51% of the development is done, as in the memo, there are certain items that the city will have to do. As I said, in exchange for that, the continuing annexation of the Benner Road once they find the legacy property owners. But part of the two items were already taken care of in the last meeting, and that's the road maintenance. So if anybody has any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Hess? All right, hearing none. Mr. Mayberry, you have resolution 87.
I have a resolution that was similar to a resolution passed last year. This is to permit the township to join with the city of Miamisburg in the city's bid for asphalt repaving. A very successful 2020, and we look forward to another successful year in 21, working jointly with the city of Miamisburg on this project.
Any questions for Mr. Mayberry? All right, Mr. Henkelman, you have the next two motions.
I do. Resolution 88 and Resolution 89 are annual housekeeping resolutions where we reappoint, if the board has a desire, members of the Board of Zoning Appeals and the Zoning Commission. So Resolution 88 is a resolution to reappoint a Board of Zoning Appeals member. Resolution 89 is a resolution to reappoint a Zoning Commission member. This year, the BZA, Mr. James Hamilton is up. As I said in my memo, Mr. Hamilton has been on the board for 10 years. He is a very active member and continues to have interest in serving the community and serving on the Board of Zoning Appeals. Mr. Hamilton also has dedicated his time to our effort at the township. So we do strongly support Mr. Hamilton and appreciate him supporting the township. 89 is to reappoint a zoning commission member. Mr. Pottist, Mike Pottist is up. Mr. Pottist is currently our chair of the zoning commission. He was a member of our Board of Zoning Appeals prior to moving over to the zoning commission. And he has been serving for over 10 years in combined positions. After discussion, he is also still interested in serving the community if the board so desires. With that said, 88 and 89 are in front of you for your consideration to reappoint two members to 5-year terms. Their terms would expire December 31st, 2025. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I have one question, and it's not intended to be a slight on either one of these candidates. I sit on a number of nonprofit boards, and I think our Board of Zoning Commission, Zoning Appeals are like many. It's often difficult to keep them full, let alone have a plethora of individuals volunteering to sit on them. But do we advertise over the course of the year these opportunities and continuously solicit the individuals to be considered? How does that process work?
We do. And unfortunately, what I could say today is we do still have vacancies. At one point in a little over a year ago, we had 7 members on our zoning commission. And today I would tell you we have 5. So, fortunately or unfortunately, there are a number of folks who are always willing to volunteer for our community, but it is a little difficult for us to continue to keep people on those boards. We do constantly have, we put it in the newsletter, or we'll put something together to try to solicit people's interest. Obviously, anyone in the community, if they're interested, we would just take a resume and a letter of interest and try to see if they are interested in our board, or if, once we explain to them what the expectations of those members are, if they're still interested in serving. So, unfortunately, I can't say we have a backlog of people who are interested in volunteering, but the current core of people who we have, we appreciate greatly. And we do have an alternate member for the BZA, who will be bringing, I think that resolution will be brought back to you at the next meeting in December to have an alternate. That would be a one-year position. Unfortunately, in 2020, we haven't been able to get the background checks that we want to, but as we get that done, we will have one alternate for the BZA, which is certainly nice. But if there's anyone interested, we have a vacancy in the alternate position in the Zoning Commission, and we most certainly would love to receive a resume, a letter of interest to see if somebody would be interested in serving that board.
Thank you, sir. Yes, we might wish Mr. Hess get with Ms. Drury and get out on social media and let people know we're accepting applications for our open positions. Mr. McCord, you have the next resolution.
Yes, in keeping with the housekeeping measures, this is another housekeeping measure we do at the end of the year, and it's a request to the Montgomery County Auditor to advance tax receipts, tax collections on a monthly basis rather than wait for the semi-annual apportionment settlement. Pretty straightforward. Any questions? Be happy to answer them.
All right, hearing none, we will open up the public comment period. This is the time when any member of the public who's watching this Zoom meeting can raise their hand. Mr. Hinkleman will invite you into the room and you will have an opportunity to address the board. Are there any members of the public wishing to come forward? If so, please raise your hand.
I see none.
All right, seeing none, we will move past the public comment period and we move into consideration of vote, resolutions, and motions. Mr. Hess, could you remind everyone the new process and protocol that you've identified? We simply need to know the number and the therefore be it resolved. Is that correct?
No, it's actually by title only.
Okay. Then I will test this out by making a motion to approve Resolution 85-2020, a resolution to appoint a Miami Crossing Joint Economic Development District Board member. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Mr. Newell, you are muted if you're asking for a roll. Maybe we lost Aaron.
Okay, I'll jump in. Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Culp,
Aye.
Mr. Posey.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 86-2020, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an annexation agreement by and between Miami Township and the city of Miamisburg. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Culp,
Aye.
Mr. Posey.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 87-2020, a resolution to authorize the Township Administrator to enter into a joint construction agreement with the city of Miamisburg for the resurfacing of township streets. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Culp,
Aye.
Mr. Posey.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 88-2020, resolution to reappoint a Board of Zoning Appeals member. Therefore, be it resolved. We will appoint Mr. James Hamilton to a new 5-year term ending December 31, 2025. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Culp,
Aye.
Mr. Posey.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 89-2020, a resolution to reappoint a zoning commission regular member. Therefore, be it resolved, we reappoint Mr. Michael Pothast to serve 5 years ending December 31, 2025. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Culp,
Aye.
Mr. Posey,
Aye.
And lastly, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 90-2020, a resolution to request tax advances from the Montgomery County Auditor in fiscal year 2021. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can. Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Okay. No idea what happened. All right.
Any
Sorry,
discussion?
Chuck. Yep. Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Culp,
Aye.
Mr. Posey.
Aye.
All right, we have no public hearings. Any department heads have any comments?
I do, just very quickly. As this is my last meeting, I just very quickly wanted to thank everyone for the opportunities that I have received for the past 13 years in this amazing community. I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for the things that I've learned and the friendships and the professional experience that I've gained. So it is extremely emotional for me, but I'm very excited. I wish everyone well, and I am certainly going to be around so I can be of service in any way that I can. But I specifically want to thank Mr. Snyder as my boss for the last 13 years. I think he is a very, very good boss, a good friend, and I'm just thankful. So thank you all, and I really appreciate it.
I would just reiterate that we're obviously going to be sad to see Mr. Hinkleman go, but we do wish him the best in advancing his career. He has served the township for a number of years now and has been a great employee and certainly has been a great asset to Miami Township, to our department, to the residents of the community, to the businesses. And it's been certainly a pleasure working with him all of these years. And again, we certainly wish you the best and appreciate all the work that you've done over the years. So.
Any other department heads wishing to make any comments? All right, elected official comments. Mr. Newell.
I have none. Just wish Kyle the best of luck at his new job.
Excellent. Mr. Culp.
Yeah, I'd just like to wish Kyle the best of luck and hope to see him around.
Mr. Posey.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I'm real sad that Kyle's leaving, but the only thing that's going to dry my tears is that the University of Dayton basketball starts in about 40 minutes. So I hope that our work session is timely and quick. Also, good luck, Kyle.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
My marching orders.
Well, given that Mr. Hess and I are Wright State Raider fans, maybe we'll have an extended work session. What do you think about that? Yeah,
I'm sorry, that was my son. I'm a UD Flyer.
Oh, come on. You wear the Wright State gear. I see it. You can't wear the gear and not be a fan. All right, Mr. Hinkleman, as my elected official comments, I'd also like to thank you for your diligence in your work. You've clearly shown and demonstrated a passion for public service, and the village of Covington is getting a great asset, so you will be sorely missed. We are now moving into work session. Mr. Newell, do I need to make motions to go into work session? It's not a study session, just a work session.
I don't believe so. I don't think we need a motion for a work session.
All right. Mr. McCord, work session on budget.
Okay. Earlier, actually last week, I forwarded to each of you a digital copy of the budget proposal for 2021. There is the hard copy that awaits each of you if you have not already picked up your lovely consolation gift. There is a binder in your inbox at the Township Administration Building. I really wanted tonight to give the department heads just an opportunity to talk about anything in particular that's going on in their budget. Is it, from my perspective and looking down at it, there's not a lot of radical change for 2021, given that we've already reacted to the economic environment that we're in. We cut back on spending. We've right-sized all of our expectations. For right now, we're kind of going into 2021 conservatively. Obviously, recent news gives us hope that the second half of 2021 might be better yet. But at this point, given the facts and the information we have, we're coming in with this proposal, which is, if you do the math, and I apologize, there's not a cover sheet in there that was supposed to be, but the funds overall, the spending is, we're taking in more revenue than we're spending on the expenditure side. However, on the individual fund level, that's not the same thing. The TIFs kind of are going to be collecting into a positive position. The fire district is again drawing down more of their accumulated balances, so that those are the two large swings. The rest of them are reasonably close. They're slightly underwater. That's why we have budget stabilizations for times like this. So I'm sure there are, suggestions and tweaks that we can do along the way. Just some high level stuff to share with you on the revenue side of it. Property tax collections, we always cut that a little bit from total what is potential to collect. County auditor recommends 95%. We've been doing pretty well in the 97 to 98%. So what I did for this budget presentation is I put in property tax collections at 97%. I think that's a safe bet. I think that's a safe assumption to make given historical records and the performance of property tax this year and the slight adjustments that we saw in the upticks. New values are coming in this month. We've talked about a potential for getting some levy estimates in the first part of the year. We're going to time that at the next meeting so that the new valuations can come in to help with that analysis. And with that, I'm going to stop talking at the high level and invite any of the department heads, if there's anything in particular that you want to advocate or highlight. I'd say the biggest change that I see this year, if you look through the details, is in Charlie's budget at the PD with the use of funds from seized assets. You'll see quite a large spike in collections on forfeitures for 21. That's a result of some changes at the federal level and some expectations. The good news with that is we also have reserves of prior collections that will accommodate if not a single dollar comes through, he would still have enough money in reserve in the seized funds to cover those expenditures. Charlie, did I leave anything out?
No, I think you covered that pretty well. The forfeiture funds, as they are, a certain amount of that has to be rolled over for use. We just can't let it all sit forever inside a nest egg. So at times like this is actually what it's there for. While I don't like counting on forfeiture funds all the time, they are for a rainy day like this, and this is appropriate. We're not asking for a phenomenal amount in that carryover. It's a minuscule amount compared to what we typically bring in on a yearly basis. So I think in this particular case, that we're right where we need to be.
Does anybody, Dan, any comments on plans for your area next year? I mean, it seems pretty good at this point.
Yeah, most of our expenses are yearly expenses. We do have one capital item for 2021 in the road department. It's a lease purchase, 4-year lease purchase of an additional snow fighter truck, dump truck. The oldest truck we will convert to a larger brining application vehicle. So we don't have to make as many trips back and forth throughout the township. So that's the plan for the capital plans for road and bridge. Most other line items are consistent with past years.
There is one line item that I know Rex has talked to me about it. I know you've had a conversation with me as well on the parks fleet. There's a 16-year-old truck out there that is scheduled we were going to replace it this year. And that's going to be an optional item that we're looking at, or if the board wishes, we can draw down reserves, or as the Senate Bill 8, Senate Bill 4, sorry, not 8-4, showed, we do have some ability to take some TIF funds if we so choose. If you choose to do that, we could put that towards the replacement of one of the parks trucks. When we stood the Parks Department back up, we didn't go out and buy new vehicles. We bought new equipment, but they were able to utilize excess capacity from the Roads Department.
Yeah, they're currently using a surplus vehicle from the road department, but it is, again, as you said, 16 years old. So sooner or later, that vehicle will have to be replaced, and when it does, it will be a Parks Department vehicle.
Very good. Mr. Culp, do you have any questions for Mr. McCord or any of the department heads on the budget?
I do not. I looked it over earlier and it looks straightforward.
Mr. Posey?
No, this is my first year going through a budget cycle in the township, and I'd like to express my congratulations to Clay and the department heads for presenting a detailed and relatively balanced budget. So it's nice to see, and it's nice to see performance over years.
Yeah, I would also like to thank the department heads and Clay for putting a budget together. I'd also like to make sure the community understands that these department heads, this administration, and these trustees take this very seriously. There's a lot of time and effort put together to look and put this budget together. When Mr. McCord is talking about budget stabilization funds, essentially he is letting us know that we are going to maintain services in lieu of potentially reduced income. We are not going to get the same income from hotel motel taxes. We will not get the same income potentially in other areas, but we are going to maintain services to this community. And I also like that the budget as it's presented doesn't have a lot of line items for miscellaneous or other. It's very specific in where the money is being spent and what it's being spent for, and it's a tribute to the department heads to be very specific in where these dollars are going. And reminder to everybody who might be watching that we are on the Ohio checkbook, so you can go online and search anything and see where we are spending our money. And thank you to Mr. Newell for being our fiscal officer and overseeing this process. Any further questions or any other comments, Mr. Newell or Mr. McCord?
No.
I would just say if anybody has any suggestions for changes or modifications or need something clarified later as you look back through it, let me know, let Aaron know. I will, there's a couple of things in the presentation. I'm going to add a percentage variance column for the 21 budget relative to the 20 budget, so you can see how those budgets have changed. That got lost in the publication. And then we'll clean it up as far as with headers and whatnot, so you can follow along much easier. And we will have it ready for consideration for a final vote on the 15th. And just invite anybody watching or anybody interested. We'll put a notification out for the second budget hearing, and we'll invite the community to comment and put it to a vote for the trustees on the 15th.
Very good. I appreciate everybody's participation. If there is no further business, I will make a motion that we adjourn at 6:30 so Mr. Posey can go watch his basketball game.
Go Flyers.
Everyone stay well and have a great evening.
Bye.